Welcome to Blockbuster Bums. Kick back your recliner, crack open a beer, and let's talk movies. And today we'll be talking about License to Kill, the 17th installment in our Bond series that it also stars Timothy Dalton, just like last week's film. But it is also the last Timothy Dalton movie, so Dalton only makes two. More than Lazenby, just, not as many as the other guys. So, Justin, would you like to give us a quick synopsis?
Yep. We've got a vengeful James Bond going rogue to infiltrate and take down an organization headed by a drug lord who has murdered his friend's new wife and left him near death. It's that small because that's all he does.
Yeah.
That's tight.
That's all Bond needs.
It is revenge.
It is very vengeful. You are correct. So, this movie goes right into Felix's wedding, right? Like they're on the bridge coming across in their tuxedos.
Yeah, getting ready to go to the wedding.
Yeah, so in the first, 20, 30 minutes of this movie are dealing around Felix.
Yeah.
I mean,
most Felix we've ever gotten. Like, it's, I don't know. I don't think we've gotten that much throughout the movies.
No, it's always been sprinkled.
Yeah.
Nothing real solid.
Well, we're seeing a glimpse into his personal life.
That too.
It's always been Felix, it was like, oh, you've popped up here on a James Bond mission and all, rather than like, oh, now we're actually in his, something that's happening in his life that's an actual event.
It's pretty good, though.
Yeah, they get a call and they get stopped on a bridge and picked up in a helicopter, though, and
Duty calls.
yeah,
as only an observer.
yeah, no, and I loved that.
The hands of a gun.
Yeah. Well, no, but just in case, he said it and everything, But no, and I loved, first off, I loved that scene 'cause I instantly thought of Batman, what they did with the plane and all that.
Yeah.
How they just looped it around, took it, and I was like, the only thing you didn't do was blow off the wings in the bottom and, have the guys rappel down, but exact same thing, and I loved that. I was like, it was cool to see that stunt back then.
Dark Knight Rises, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought that was pretty cool to see. And then to fly it over the church that Felix is gonna get married at, to where it's like, I'm on my way.
Let's go, James.
Yeah, I thought that to me was like humorous and all that. It's not a lot of humor in the movie and all, but that was a funny scene.
Yeah. It was good.
And it's a great stunt, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a hell of an entrance to your wedding, I suppose.
Well, and the whole time, you tell it's got to be her father-in-law. He's all cross-armed and pissy and everything, and they're like, drive around the block again, just
Told you this was a bad idea.
Yeah, he's being a turd about the whole ordeal and whatnot, but but he gets to the wedding and all, and Felix gets married. So
I mean, technically, the father-in-law is not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a good idea.
Do they tell us where they're at?
They're in the Florida Keys.
Miami, yeah.
Okay, Florida Keys. Okay.
Yeah. There's that massive miles-long bridge that I
Mm,
know gets
yeah.
used in other movies, but it is an awesome place to film anything.
Oh, yeah.
Looks great.
Yeah. And then we go. I mean, they don't really show us the wedding. There was a wedding,
and like that, and then
See
cut
the
to
before and the after.
but the relationship through all this between Bond and Felix's now wife is weird, and I would say borderline inappropriate.
Yeah.
I think Bond introduced her to Felix, and he saw her on a mission. And you know what Bond does to women on missions.
Yeah.
It's possible.
So really, Bond's kind of scraping this one off on Felix.
I mean,
is what we're assuming.
She kisses Bond a little too much.
She does, and at one point she's like, "Well, the bride gets to kiss the best man," and I'm like,
I've never heard that.
"Really? I've been the best man 3 times in my life. I've never been kissed by the bride."
Yeah, Felix needs to get his wife under control. That's really not okay. And maybe it was pointed out, and if it was, I apologize. So the opening, all of that was awesome, but it also sets up the movie really well,
It does.
which isn't always the case in these Bond movies. Sometimes it's a totally separate matter or something, but this, you get introduced to Sanchez, the drug kingpin, who Felix has been after, and who is piloting the plane that gets fished out of the sky. So
Yes,
yeah,
it is true.
Who up until that point is pretty confident. Like he's smiling throughout, like as they're actively chasing him and going after him. He's just looking up.
Well,
and
he's
smiling, and it's
he's
funny.
pretty confident even in police custody.
Oh yeah. Well, he knows he's getting out.
Yeah.
'Cause money.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has a price.
Yeah, because
He
even when
threw
the
it out
cop,
there.
yeah, 'cause even
Somebody
when the
bet-
cop tries to get tough with him, he grabs the cop back and was like,
Yeah.
"Dude, don't touch me!" Like,
Yeah.
I don't care that I'm arrested. I will fuck you up. Like, just like
They did
yeah.
play that scene well when he offered the money. You wanted to think it was the other guy that was going to.
You want to think it was
'Cause
Hawkins.
the way that he was looking,
Yeah.
and the way the camera was looking at him, was like,
Yeah,
oh,
like, it's
he's
like-
he's considering it, but no, it was the other guy
Yeah, his old boy.
instead.
also known as Big Ed, Twin Peaks. But anyway, yeah, Killiford takes him up on it, and yeah, Sanchez, the actor, I love this guy's portrayal of this character.
Oh yeah.
Is this the most you get to know a Bond villain ever?
Hmm.
I mean, you get a real feel for this guy.
It definitely
Yeah.
seems like the most personal we've gotten
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah.
Because you almost get to see his his inner life and code of ethics. Like I said, loyalty's like super important to this man. And everything
And you
like
see, he's also a jealous man too.
yeah, it is. It's like, but I mean, it's one of those things that
he
yeah,
gives
it's.
his lady a spanking after she's done something bad.
What about
Well, or I liked it even better. It was like, what he promised you? His heart? Like, well, yeah, cut it out and give it to her then. Like, it was like,
Ruthless.
yeah, like it's.
what about
and
the
then you
man with the
see
golden
Bobby,
gun?
like,
We spent a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
That's true too. Because we did learn about his whole carnival and backstory too, like that.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd say they're
Yeah.
about on par. But too, if you think about it, both of those movies really don't center so much around a mission. It's more about the character themselves.
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah.
one, it's a story of it basically.
Because he's
ram-
just a drug dealer.
Yeah,
He's
and
just
it's-
a drug dealer. who
and it's a
happened to have
story
four
of-
missiles.
yeah, revenge and rampage in this one, and the other one, it's more about he's trying to recruit Bond to be an assassin with him and all. Like
Yeah.
so, yeah, of course he's presenting himself and his lifestyle and trying to plead his case, but yeah, you just don't get that kind of development in other stories because it's more about a plot that's being put on by a villain.
Yeah. You're right.
Rather, where this one it is about the villain himself. Like,
Yeah.
because it's personal, Barry.
Yeah. It's a,
Cosmo.
it's a smaller story.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not overly complex. Like it's
I enjoyed this movie because this is what happens when you piss off James Bond. You get a focused, directed James Bond where he's not playing around. He's not trying to, be the gentleman spy. He's just trying to
he's-
kill motherfuckers because you fucked with essentially his family.
well, because he has no license to kill in this movie. He gets revoked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Like-
resigns or whatever the heck.
Yeah,
they
he
do.
was like, "Where it's not a damn country club." Like, just like, yeah, it's like, but yeah, like I said, you have all these skills, and it's like, hey, now that I'm not like bound by your rules and like
Nope.
articles and regulations,
said,
like,
Skip the
I'm-
pleasantries. I'm killing them.
yeah, it's like I have I'm gonna go be an assassin. I'm gonna do what I'm good at.
And we've never seen this side of Bond before.
Yeah,
They
I
kind
agree.
of tease at it, and after Tracy dies. What's the movie after
Yeah,
that? They show him like
Well, yeah.
like brutally beating guys up
Yeah,
and stuff,
in the
looking for
beginning,
Blofeld.
Where's Blofeld? Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
But-
not at this level. Like this is
Oh no, this
No.
is way
this is
over.
turned to 11.
But that's what I like about this is like through his revenge, we learn about the villain. Because he basically uses everything that the villain like holds dear, like the idea of loyalty. Like he steals the money, fucks up the drugs and all that, and then like puts the money back to like make it look like what was it the
Crest.
Crest.
yeah,
Yeah,
Crest
Crest.
was like had stolen the money from him and all that. Like, and of course, he gives him this outlandish story, but like, no, you don't understand. This guy, like, water skied behind the seaplane and got on top of it and threw the guys off, and it's like, really, like, that's what you're gonna tell me right now? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but like I said, he used that and amongst other things to pretty much manipulate the villain to the very end. Like,
It was almost like Bond was playing a villain and trying to bring the house down.
Yeah, because I mean,
he messed with it every direction.
Sanchez knew who he was. Because he
Yeah.
said, he's like, do you know who this guy is? He's like, yeah, he's a former British agent. So he knew who
Right.
he was, but he got that former thing in it to think that, okay,
Yeah.
I can turn this guy. which was brilliant for
Well,
James Bond to have.
it really the biggest thing that helped him was when he did get caught by like the CIA and those and the other guys are like,
Oh, yeah.
"No, we're sending you back to the UK, man." And we saw like a young Shang Tsung and everything there. Like
Couldn't
you
take his
fucked
soul.
up, fucked up years of operation and everything. Like I've been infiltrating. He's gonna show me the factory tomorrow. Like I'd be irritated if I was that guy. And then I gotta
Yeah.
eat my cyanide capsule and everything. And yeah,
It's like,
like,
God dang James
yeah,
Bond.
That I have that written down on my notes. That couldn't have gone better for Bond.
yeah.
Oh yeah, because
Like-
he was still tied up when they found him.
Yeah, so they thought he was being tortured for information on him. So
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, you're loyal to me.
Yeah.
Like you're a good dude. Like I'm gonna bring you home and take care of you." But in all reality, that had nothing to do with the situation.
No, well, but it even made it better when like he was like when Bond told him like, oh, well, someone had to have sent the hit squad and all that, and after he planted the money and then he killed the old boy in the pressure chamber and all, it's like, oh yeah, it must have been him, and he even made the joke about like just him, like just the one guy would have came after you, like.
Yeah, he put that seed of doubt. It's like,
Yeah, like I
yes.
said, he was
Yeah.
playing with his ego and the idea that's like, yeah, like if loyalty is what you hold, that's what I got to manipulate because that's what you're valuing. Like,
Yeah, because he made that whole thing. All of everybody that works for me is 100% loyal.
yeah,
I'm like, no, they're not, buddy. I'm gonna show you how.
Loyal till the money runs out.
Bond is very clever. Bond is always clever, but in this, with the dynamics at play, he was very much thinking on his feet. Had a little twist he could put on stuff like you just described that would give Sanchez pause for thought on other things to keep Bond in a good place.
like his
It's
story-
really well done.
Yeah, like
Well-
everything fell in line where his story added up.
Yeah.
He was very spy.
Yes.
He was he technically wasn't a spy at that moment because he'd lost his MI6 connection, but he almost was more of a spy than normal. Like I said, the whole story, he's fooling this guy, fooling that guy. He's stealing this, but then using what he stole to screw over this guy and that guy at the same time. Like there was a lot of deceiving and trickery and just
Almost
spy shit.
sociopathic. Like,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
you
this
really
is-
like very because like I said, it's very deliberate, very methodical for the sake of dismantling this and killing this one guy, despite how many other people I have to kill in the process.
It's almost James Bond at his best. Because
Yeah,
like I said
like-
before, he's focused, very directed. His one mission is dismantling
Yeah.
this dude's life.
I'm gonna kill Sanchez.
It's interesting
Like,
because he is at his best, but he's also, and I guess he has to take this into account when he's out on assignment. Is what else does this impact?
Yeah.
Which is a big part of this story. So he's too focused in this
He
movie
is.
on this
Yeah, yes, tunnel
because
vision.
he's great, but he's also screwing other things up unknowingly.
Well, I mean, he screws up the Chinese operation. He screws up the CIA's operation while he's doing it. But at the same time, you could say that by doing what he did, there's no need for their operation anymore.
No,
Yeah.
because he completely dismantled their organization. He
Yeah.
destroyed the drugs, destroyed money. Like he did that single-handed.
He didn't just kill the leader; he killed like all of them.
Yes.
yeah, so when he drives away from the compound and everything. At the end, you see it just burning and all that. They're like, yeah, we can't stop it because they found a way to turn like cocaine into gasoline or whatever, and that's why they transport it, and then they could turn it back into cocaine once it's over the border.
which is a great trick.
I always
Yeah.
thoued it'd be
If you
cool
could
to
pull that
I
off,
was
hell
like- I
yeah,
always thought
that's
it'd
the
be
way
cool
to smuggle
if
the
you could do
coke.
that with like a bottled waterfront. I think it'd
Yeah.
be like Aquafina, like it's like just
Uh,
like,
Maybe we did. Did we go into any sort of detail as to why Bond is out for revenge?
I don't think we did
kind of
actually.
No, we
glanced
just
over
kinda
I mean,
it.
we
ran
said,
right
we
into it.
mentioned that he fucked with Felix, but we didn't go into detail
Yeah.
what happened. Yeah,
So Sanchez does bribe his way out of the DEA jail.
Well, he essentially bribes one of Felix's CIA cohorts,
Yeah.
correct?
This
For
killer
$2 million.
guy.
Yep.
And then Sanchez gets. I assume Sanchez didn't do it himself. I don't think he did. Basically, they go and they kill Della,
Yep.
Felix's new wife, and they suggest that it was more than that, which you don't really like to think about.
Yeah.
Honeymoon.
Exactly. The great line by Del Toro. And then they take Felix and it seems like they're going to kill him by feeding him to a shark. They have a crazy device set up where there's a big piece of meat on one end and then Felix on the other, and it's a counterbalance. And once they start eating that meat away, Felix goes into the drink, and poor Felix loses a damn leg
and an arm.
Yeah,
because
it's rough.
He was ruthless. It's not meant to kill you.
Yeah,
he was like, I'm not killing you, man. This is not what I'm going to do.
Well, because he even says there's worse things than death. Like, like
it is very rough. So, of course, this sets Bond on his, path of revenge. Rightly so.
Just rampage.
yeah.
Well, I think off air, Ray really touched on it. I think this really strikes a chord with Bond because it's very similar to Tracy. I mean, it's literally bad guys show up and shoot them on their wedding day. And Tracy had already been brought up by, what's her name? Della, earlier that day. And Bond obviously was upset by it. So
just kind of reopening old wounds and all that.
Yeah.
Which wasn't a good idea on Sanchez's part.
No, not so much.
What does everybody think about the Bond girl in this one, though? See, that's like I see everybody getting ready and groaning and all that. So
we're talking about Pam Bouvier.
Yes, Bouvier.
Bouvier. She was okay.
Let's see, Miss Bouvier.
That's where it ends.
Always packing, useful, tough, sweet, sexy, smart. Doesn't take shit from anyone, especially Bond, and she's sassy all the time.
I can't disagree with any.
Army pilot. She knows how to get her way around. She's been trained. She kind of ups Bond a couple times by packing extra weapons. Very useful throughout the whole film. I mean, she's almost the perfect companion.
Yeah, she's very good.
That's about.
I like girls with hair. That's me. But
Agreed.
she's very good.
She's a good partner.
Did you just?
And that, to me, that's it.
Did you just call her the perfect companion?
Yes, he did.
So like a dog?
No, I didn't call her a dog. She don't look like a fucking dog.
No, but I mean like the perfect companion, man's best friend, a dog.
Man's best friend. No, man's best friend is that lady with a vagina, and she's got my sixth.
Gotcha. Or she had her own, or she had her own plan that she didn't tell you about, and she was off doing it, and sidetracked you from your plan.
But she wasn't gonna do that.
But she did do that. She literally did that.
Yeah.
She had her own plan that she was trying to do behind your back, while you were trying to do your plan.
Yeah, and he didn't find out until the end.
So obviously, she didn't always have his six.
But she did, because she was always there.
She was helpful to him.
She was helpful.
Plan,
yes.
She couldn't just not do what she was sent to do. You know what I mean? Her job wasn't she in on getting rid of the Stinger missiles?
Yes.
Yeah, she was trying to get those back.
And so, I mean, that's huge. So ultimately, Bond's little revenge seeking don't mean shit in the big picture.
I think up to that point.
Well, I mean, it never really did.
Yeah, because remember, Bond's just going rogue on this one. Everybody else is still on the clock.
Right. Well, I'm not saying Bond's thing doesn't matter, because it does matter. But just
it
big
matters to
picture,
Bond.
It's not.
Like I said,
international weaponry.
Yeah, nobody else in the storyline even knows Felix. So it's like, nobody else even cares.
Well, Sharky cared.
Sharky did.
And there was multiple times
Rest in peace.
Bond told her to get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of there. And she was always there, helping out.
Perfect companion.
So she
Perfect
doesn't
companion.
listen, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, she don't listen.
If I type perfect companion into Google, what do you think comes
A
up?
dog.
A lady with a vagina.
Yeah, lady with a vagina got my six.
I don't know if that's the Webster definition that we're gonna get, but
That's on the Urban Dictionary version.
okay,
Perfect companion.
updated.
No.
Man's best
Ray, I
friend,
know you.
or some escort site.
We're about to watch you get a virus live on
You
air.
are and will, I'm sure, take heat for being so fond of this character. But I really liked her a lot.
I didn't mind the character, but I think her attitude and kind of persona made it feel more like a buddy action film.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of.
Like that. That's what I got. Because yeah, like super capable and everything, but it was that like '80s power girl like echo that you kind of heard and
Right.
everything. And like I said, I know it's what it was and everything. I mean, but and it wasn't like in your face or anything. I wasn't browbeat by it by any means. But it was just enough that I just didn't see her like as a Bond girl, like in a very feminine way, I guess is what I'm saying. Like there was one scene where like you caught Bond like actually like checking her out and everything when she like stripped down and all and was like we were talking about like hiding when they were on the boat and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, other than that, there was very little hint toward any type of like sexuality or femininity, I think.
I would say this about this woman. I don't want to overthink it necessarily, but she is the type of woman you see on a TV show or on the big screen, and you recognize that, okay, she's attractive, but you're not drawn to her. But if you saw her in real life, I guarantee you'd be like, holy cow.
Yeah.
I believe that to be true.
That may be true, but we're comparing her to like supermodels.
Well, my thing is, like, I don't doubt it would
And
be
a Q-tip.
true, but I don't think I would be motivated to engage with her. I'll say that. Like I said, I could look at her and be like, it would be my thought would be like, hey, if she grew her hair out, she could be like more attractive, or like if she did X, Y, and Z, it would be more of a preference for me. But I don't think they're.
She kept that short thing through Law and Order and all that stuff. I think she still
I
has
believe
it
it.
today.
And like I said, Pretty Woman and all that. Like I said, we're really just splitting hairs and everything, but in comparison to what we've seen up to this point, like you can just see like how the definition of beauty and culture and society has just shifted. Like it's not my preference really.
Oh, I would bet at the time that people probably even had stronger opinions than we do now about her.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because yeah, you're still talking about that late '80s, early '90s, and all that. So.
Mhm.
I mean, you're coming out because I remember as a kid, yeah, women in power suits and short haircuts everywhere. Like, I mean, even in cartoons I remember watching growing up, you always kind of seen that. What was it? Angelica's mom from Rugrats.
Oh yeah.
Quintessential, like, 80s throwback mom and all that. Like, so I mean, that personality was everywhere. But like, I'll just be honest, I'm not attracted to that personality type. Like I said, it's just, I don't. Like I said, as a field agent, like totally believable. I did believe that she was on her own mission, doing her own thing, and Bond just kind of like stumbled upon her on the job while he's like getting revenge. Like,
Well, it's not that he stumbled upon. Felix made it noted when he put that CD in the picture frame that if something went down, he would know what to do with this CD or whatever, and that's.
I mean, Bond went and looked for her. He found her
Yeah.
on purpose.
yeah,
But she, I think, was using Bond, at least for a while, as a benefit of circumstance.
I mean,
Like, Bond's going in here
yeah.
and trying to fuck up the thing I'm trying to fuck up, so I'm going to go with him. But
Right.
this guy's really kind of a loose cannon right now, and
he's
so I
really-
don't trust him enough to actually tell him what I'm doing or anything like that.
right.
Because while he's off doing his thing, I'll sneak in and get
Yeah,
what I
you-
came for.
you almost have like a built-in distraction. Like,
Yeah, like
It
they're,
would be-
they're
it
like
would be
going this
distracting for him.
this direction, but they're
Yeah.
going like this.
yeah,
But towards the end, Sanchez
Yeah.
like, screw it, and starts shooting him at a Bond.
yeah, he's just over all of it. Like, just like Sanchez just loses his shit at the end.
No,
Like,
he was still fine though.
yeah, like,
you
it's-
know, cutting loose ends. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He was pretty confident even towards the end.
Oh no, yeah, I loved
it
the
was-
line when he
it was-
finally
it was
shot
good.
old boy. I was like, well, there's another 80 million gone now. I was like, yeah, it's time to start cutting overhead. Just like blast him.
I mean, I
Basically,
saw
like-
that kid dying. Early.
Oh yeah,
And
no,
I was
it
like,
was-
dude, you are going to
Yeah,
die.
you're
It's just a
complaining
matter of
way
when.
too much and all
Yep.
that. Like this guy's gonna lose his shit and just be like, I'm over it. Like I'll hire somebody else that can crunch numbers. Like
Yeah, I only need the case you're clutching with your mitts.
yeah, I don't need
Give me
you. Like, which I like. Honestly, I really loved the whole semi chase scene at the end.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The only thing I really would like to know if it was a practical stunt or how they did it was when fucking Bond put the semi up on its side.
That was funny.
Like, cause I know you can do it with a car.
Like,
I've seen
and
yeah,
it
like
had the-
Oh no, when he, I don't even know.
when he did
yeah.
no, I don't think that. No, you,
Like yeah,
somebody's gonna
when
do
he
that.
wheelied it through the fire and all that, like that was like yeah, I was like I don't even believe that happened. There's not there's
Well, I want to know what they did to
you
a
would
semi
have
to make that
you would have
work.
turned like
Probably
there would have been so much
a
twisted
rope
metal.
tied to the back, and they just kind of jerked it.
It was cool. It was cool though.
Yeah, but I love the whole semi chase scene and all that, especially like I said, because it is just at that point it's just gasoline / cocaine and all that, just
Yeah.
burning up everywhere, and he's like emptying it and like firing and blowing stuff up and shit, like
and bowling trailers into the other.
and yeah, like yeah, yeah, just like right down the hill into another
God.
tanker, like. And the amount of rocket launchers people just happen to have on
Oh
hand in
man,
this movie.
everybody's got one.
Yeah, it's like I counted at least like 3 or 4 just firing, just like yeah, whatever, we got them. Like,
That was the big weapon back in the day. Was finding your
yeah,
rocket launcher, man.
like, that's yeah.
If you're
it
running a
definitely
drug
was
cartel,
big. Like,
Yeah.
1988, whatever,
89.
you have a
Yeah.
rocket launcher.
Everybody's
Or
got one.
I mean, they would be very, very intimidating. I mean, you have a whole rocket, shoulder fired. Yeah,
As a matter of fact, if you don't have a rocket launcher, then you ain't shit.
Yeah.
kind of
No one
judging
res-
you as
no
a
one
drug dealer.
respects you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, if you're in the business and don't have one, like, who
I'm
are
sure-
you?
I'm sure Escobar had a pretty.
Oh, I
amount
know he
of
did.
them.
The man owned hippos. I know he had a rocket launcher. Like, you don't own a hippo and not own a rocket launcher. Like,
But do you have a hippo with a rocket launcher?
No.
depends how much cocaine you do that day.
That's right. Yeah.
It's like
Well, I mean,
you're,
who had
sitting
sharks-
around. I've got an
who had
idea.
Sharks with
Like,
lasers.
yeah. just-
Sharks with lasers.
By the way, speaking of lasers, what about Bouvier almost killing Bond with a laser?
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, dude,
Yeah.
you're stupid. Why are
Say
you messing
cheese.
with shit?
Yeah. It's like Q just getting pissed off in his own lab and all. Like, don't touch that. Like, just like,
Damn it, I got another Bond.
yeah. Like, just like,
By the way, speaking of Q, that relationship we spoke of last week between Q and Bond goes to the next level in this movie. Not only is he helpful and nice to Bond, but he takes a leave of absence to go help Bond and sticks up for Bond to Bouvier.
yeah.
Well, Moneypenny sends him there.
Yes.
So
Oh.
even like you were saying in the other movie, that relationship really evolved because Q was like Moneypenny was worried.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
Moneypenny sent Q on a mission.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once again, Moneypenny. That's all right. She's cute enough. She has that pull now. Like
Yep.
she,
Well,
go
she
back
was
to
so
that.
worried.
I go back.
she
to it.
can go flirt with the old man down in the lab and get him to do shit.
He
Like,
Was
He
it-
definitely had more hair.
Was it this movie or was it The Living Daylights? I don't remember. Where he's speaking with her, James Bond, and I believe he swats her on the ass.
Yeah. It was the last one, I think.
I don't think he
Okay.
speaks to Moneypenny in this movie.
Okay.
no,
well,
he does because like there's a scene where like he takes her glasses off or she takes them off.
That's
and he
the
puts
last
them back on.
movie.
Was that
You know,
Daylights?
that's Living Daylight.
Yeah.
I can
I-
confuse
because
the
this
two.
one starts.
He goes from the wedding to
Right
his
into it.
quitting MI6. He doesn't go to MI6 at all during this movie.
Yeah, that's right. But I do remember that ass swat. I wish I would have mentioned that.
Yeah.
But
Highlight of the movie.
Speaking of which, we've ran way past it now, but I feel like it would be important to talk about him quitting. Like he goes out and like kills some guys at a warehouse where Sanchez had his stuff set up.
Because he's trying to find who has a shark.
Yeah.
Because as I tell him at the hospital, like chainsaw my ass. He's like, I know a shark bite when I see one and all.
Yeah.
Sharky, who is a fisherman,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like-
Sharky, he's like, that's not a fucking chainsaw.
Sharky knows about sharks.
Yeah, I was like, I'm
Yes.
gonna trust the man. Like, you got your nickname somehow. Like,
Yes.
I'm
Big-
sure you're.
big Sharky
yeah.
fan.
And he ends up throwing the trader agent into the shark pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the money.
Yeah.
Which I love. They just case right out. What? But you didn't.
This
have
was
to
his own
grab
fault.
It. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
didn't have to grab it. You could have just taken the shot and let it go down into the like. Yeah, it's.
Do you count that as a Bond kill, or did that guy kill himself?
Yeah, I think you count as a kill
Yeah, you
because
got to.
if he didn't go down, Bond would have shot him.
Yeah.
Like Bond was there. Bond,
well, I
Bond was in the mode now. Bond was like, I'm here to fucking kill people. Like I think he killed him that way because it worked. He would have killed him another way if it didn't.
Okay.
Well, I
the
think
the
that-
exact
he just
quote
wouldn't-
was,
Like, no,
you
have
earned
all.
it, you keep it.
Yeah.
And then Sharky comes in and says,
What a-
what a waste of money.
Yeah, he's like, what a waste, and he's like, oh, money. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's-
But then Bond and Sharky are like renting a boat and are like on the in the harbor, getting ready to leave to go after Sanchez in some way, I guess. And Hawkins from earlier in the movie, the CIA agent, comes up to him and is like, "Hey, Bond, I need to talk to you." And then essentially, MI6 agents come out of nowhere and like, "Come with us."
Oh yeah.
And take him up into this building where M is, and M is
Surrounded
being
by
a
cats.
straight asshat.
Like a club full of cats. Like,
Yeah, lots of cats.
I've got
It was almost like a Blofeld place instead of
it
M.
threw me off to where I was like, "What's going on here? What am I about to see?" Like, because you start off cat in the windowsill and just forearm in hand, so like it is like almost like a Blofeld. Like, what
Yeah.
am I seeing here? Like, but no, then it's like M and of all people and all that, and yeah, they have their back and forth.
But M's like being kind of an asshole.
Screw
Like-
your sentimental rubbish.
Yeah.
But like M is like it's one of those where like this isn't a mission. Like it's like this is business. Everybody who's
Right.
in this organization knows like, hey, guess what? Like everybody you're up against is also has a so-called license to kill. Like people will hurt and kill you and your family members if they find out who you are. Like it's not just for show to say that and all. Like it's
No,
not
it's not for show, but it's also ridiculous. Like it's like, hey, you can't have feelings right now, even though you found
Well,
your best friend's wife's dead
once
body,
again, I think
and
he didn't say
you
you
need
can't
to
have
ignore it
feelings.
and go on about your
He was
business.
pretty much just saying like, don't go rogue. Is
You
all he
can't
said.
act on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if
Well,
you need
can't
like
make your own missions.
like once again, if you need a leave of
Mhm.
absence, fucking take a leave of absence. But like
I don't think he said that at all. I think he said, "Get your ass to Bora Bora."
now
I
Yeah.
don't think it was any like take a leave of absence. I think it was your ass needs to be in Bora Bora now.
well, there's other missions. There's real shit that needs done too.
I
like
think M. I mean, as much as we don't like it, and he's right.
no,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
He's
yeah.
right in the fact that you just can't run around the world killing people.
Yeah.
Yes. But his whole like, oh, you can't be sentimental and you can't do all it's a load of horseshit.
I don't know. Once again, like how many times have we like or has Bond stopped a nuclear bomb or some type of nuclear bomb or like humans being sterilized by plants and shit. Like at some point, like you do have to stop. Like, hey, guess what? Fuck your feelings. Like there's like worlds of people or a world of people or anything like that could be in jeopardy in this mission that you don't even know what it is yet. So like I do kind of side with them to where like if you're gonna be at this high level and play this game, then yes, like people will get hurt that you do love and care about, and yes, fuck your feelings.
You push those feelings deep down inside,
Yeah,
so
save,
no one
save it
ever.
for therapy as an old man. Like, I mean, just once again, like I said, because the stakes are too high. Look at all the plans he's foiled in all these past movies, and like, what, like you said, are you going to tell him to go take a leave of absence and everything rather than go stop one of those fools? Like,
There's 10 more double O's than one of them.
and how many have we seen die?
Well,
Like, we all know that Bond is your
Well,
may
agent.
not be many
I
left.
think also part of
Yeah,
it,
like-
and I didn't think about it that much at the time. Maybe M's trying to just get him away.
Well,
You know,
maybe take your mind off it.
go
take,
somewhere else so you can't be here.
go
screw
bang
us.
some chicks in Bora Bora.
Something of that
or
nature. Yeah.
take that anger out on
Nothing-
these people in that mission.
M knows nothing
Like-
good's coming for him from James
No,
Bond
you
staying
know-
there.
Well,
We're
here's
about
my
to
other
get a
thing
call
though.
from the Prime
Is Bond really in the mindset to go on a mission anyway?
No.
Would he be thinking clearly enough not to get himself killed?
No.
I think that the expectation, Tom's right. M expects that he can compartmentalize that, and
That's not compartmentalizing. That's just you can't be a human. We need a robot.
that I think
that's not
the
compartmentalizing.
expectation.
Well, then it's unrealistic and nobody can do it. Not, I mean,
Well, I mean, they
nobody
have
can do that.
And-
people in law
but he didn't.
enforcement or anything like
Like,
that.
Right,
Sometimes
yeah.
they go
It's a
through
good
stuff
example.
like
He
that.
didn't,
They
like-
talk to therapists and stuff like that. I mean, so before they can actually be cleared for duty again.
I look at compartmentalizing. Part of his compartmentalizing is the women. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
That's his coping mechanism.
Yep. I can see that.
You feeling bad? Go fuck some.
I figured it was the martinis shaken,
Sure.
stirred.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, even after what is it? In the last movie, he compartmentalized seeing other double O's getting killed by fucking a bitch on a boat.
That's true. He moved on pretty.
This was
quickly.
right after his double O buddies were getting murdered.
Yeah, I'm
Fucking bitch on a
glad.
boat.
I'm glad that James Bond has a high degree of care and love for Felix, but I agree with M that I'm sorry this sucks, but you don't get to go wreak havoc and act like a madman because of it. You're in this line of business, and these are the expectations.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he should be able to run around the world killing whoever he wants because he's mad. I'm just saying the expectation of like suck it up and go on another mission is unrealistic, and nobody can do that. Like
Could've said
you're
something
talking
like
about
that, and-
people close to him. It's not like he just saw some rando die. He sees that 20 times a movie.
Yeah,
You
if
know,
M would have
like-
tried to put him on a leave, then I would have been like, okay, I understand what. And M realizes this is fucking with him.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he was like, no, get your ass to Bora Bora. You got something else to do.
Doesn't go down like that.
No,
Like,
he just pissed Bond off more.
yeah, he jumps off that balcony, barrel rolls, and then takes off.
After he kicks two agents.
Does
Yeah.
does he kick M?
No,
No,
the
I don't
other
think
guy.
so.
He kicked
No.
the guy off to the, I guess
He
it'd be
would've
to
kicked
M's
him, there'd
left
be no
because he
coming
had,
back.
yeah.
All right.
It's, no.
By the way, this is completely off topic, and I don't want to get into future movies or anything like that. But at some point, if the Bond movies ended, okay, like they've said this is the last Bond movie, okay?
I think they did after Die Another Day.
Oh my god.
Would you be acceptable of Bond taking M's role?
No.
Like I'm the new M, because
All
I'm
the double O's would be like him. He just let him do what the fuck they wanted. They'd
It's an
probably be more
interesting
capable.
idea.
I
I don't
be
think
no
that,
discipline.
yeah,
No.
Bond can't be that guy.
He's not. He's not that kind of dude.
You'd almost have to make it like a movie. You'd have to build up to that character development. Because once again, yeah, I don't.
He would be the guy that doesn't trust everybody to do it, so he'd do it himself. And then you have a bunch of dudes.
yeah,
that
but
are
at some
used-
point, Bond's got to realize that like I'm 60, I'm 70, like I can't do it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, or maybe he's dead by then. You know, like
That's bullshit talk. Like, there's nothing more unsuspecting than just an old man walking down the street. Like, You're a better agent as you get older, as long as you still have.
a
Like,
view to a kill.
yeah,
No one
like,
thinks that
it's
the old
like-
man's gonna do it.
But
Yeah.
didn't we see in Never Say Never Again that they brought him back from teaching?
yeah, but
people.
remember that was when
So we
canon.
kind of seen that, and it didn't really work.
Well, but also like at that point the double O's were disbanded and they had to be brought back. And like I said, at that point he was just training people. At that point,
That's what I
anyway.
mean,
Yeah,
like-
he was more of a professor, and they got brought out of retirement because the
Yeah.
prime minister was tired of getting his ass chewed.
It's an interesting idea, though. I never thought about it.
yeah. I don't know that I have super strong feelings about it. I just thought it was an interesting question. So, we've talked over these mini movies at this point, 17 of them, about like scenes that are just iconic, and that I can picture in my head, or you guys can picture in your head anytime because you've seen that scene so many times and it's so iconic. I think the conveyor belt scene with Del Toro is one of those scenes. I can picture that in my. I was waiting for it all movie long, waiting and waiting. Like, where's the conveyor belt scene? Where's the conveyor belt scene? Like, and then when it came, I was like, oh, I saw the conveyor belt. Like, I knew it was coming before it came. Like, I think weirdly enough, it's in the least successful Bond film of all time, but I think it's an iconic scene.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
and we were talking like I would bet that Del Toro wanted that character specifically for that death, even
Yeah.
because a lot of times Del Toro will take those kind of roles and all that, and like to just play him to an extreme and stuff, and all like, he wants to be. Even when he dies in his own movies, it's always like a big glorious death type thing.
Yeah.
You always remember how the man dies in them. So like, it rang true to where like, oh, okay, I didn't realize that it was Del Toro that went down in the rock chipper and all that. It's like that makes sense now, but yeah, but then talk about competency with your girl and all that though. It took her forever to turn the belt off. Like,
Well, I mean, sometimes you
stands
get,
there and stares at him after watching old boy get chipped away, and then he's like, "Turn it off!"
And she
Like,
brought her gun with only one bullet in it.
oh my god, I was so
no,
annoyed
the,
at
the
that.
gun,
was two.
the gun jammed.
Then unjam it, but I don't think so.
You can't just
I,
unjam
I, either way,
Yeah, you
she-
can. That's
she-
how guns work.
She missed 2 shots, like so. I'll hold her on that.
Because even earlier, James had a gun that only shot twice, and then he was out. I
Well,
want to say who I forgot
was
who
it
it was,
was it
but he
that
shot
was
twice.
it that tiny little one though that
No, not that one. It was his gun,
Oh, that I don't
and he
know.
just shot. He had 2 shots, and then he looked at it, and then she goes and does the same thing.
Only the bad guys have infinite
Like,
ammo.
did you not
Yeah,
read?
these
Did you
guys
not
need to
reload?
carry an
before?
extra clip or whatever.
Yeah, or did you not make sure that you had a full clip before you just decided
Hey,
to
shit
go off with his
happens.
gun?
Shit's blowing up. People are running around. Fuck.
There's cocaine and gasoline everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like. But no, yeah, I was waiting for that scene. I will say the one that caught me off guard, and I knew it was gonna happen when I seen it. When I seen the chamber was the pressure chamber. I was like, somebody's gonna die in that.
That was great.
Oh, yeah,
That was
yeah.
the best
Open it
kill
up
of
and
any
Yeah.
Bond
the
movie
money in
ever.
there.
As soon as
yeah,
I
whoever
seen it,
took
like
that
earlier,
money's
talk about
going in there.
foreshadowing. Yeah, I was like, somebody is gonna die in that and explode. Like we're gonna see that like red on there. I was like, yep. Like,
And again,
Pop.
he didn't do it himself, but that was Bond's death.
Yeah.
Like Bond killed him.
He
But
set
once
that
again,
up,
that was
yeah.
him manipulating him. And
Yes.
that was
Yep.
part of it. To where I was like, ooh, now I can make it look like you did it because I have the money to pay you off. And it was even better that nobody put the stories together because you know, think about it, they even said, oh, that this is the man who showed up in a plane with $5 million, like to go was there gambling and shit in your own little casino and all. When this guy, your partner, is now telling you that hey, somebody stole the plane with money and all that, and it knows about our operation basically. And Sanchez didn't put it together in any way.
Yeah.
Like, which once again,
It took
at
Del
that
Toro
point, it was
recalling Del Toro's character. What was his character's name again? If anybody can remember.
Sorry, I just went off the
But
page. Hold
anyway,
on.
it took him
from the bar scene
to point out
Dario.
Yeah,
Dario, recalling Bond to basically break his cover story.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Bond's able to really, really get in quite deep with Sanchez along the way.
yeah, all the way up until well, once again, talk about taking off the masks and everything from the last one where they had the face covers on and everything, taking the tour because of the fumes from the gas and
Right.
all. And then it's like, oh, now you got to take your mask off. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
And Bond
it's-
did the best he could with that.
yeah,
He
like that's all.
kind
That's,
of placed himself so that
Yeah.
hopefully Dario wouldn't notice as much, but he was always going to notice, and of course he did. It was a good scene.
oh yeah, it was It was a good way to out the character and all that because, like I said, up till then, like he almost had befriended Sanchez and all, like. And I was like the whole like tiptoeing around, like always being with Sanchez's girl too. I also thought that was funny throughout the whole dynamic.
Yeah, Lupe.
Like, oh,
Lupe,
yeah.
little Lupe.
quite the looker.
Indeed.
Yeah. Ray, thoughts?
I wouldn't mind finishing her.
She could be man's best friend.
His perfect companion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she is gorgeous.
Get over
woman.
here, Lupe.
By the way, just so while we're on the topic, I did Google Perfect Companion, and apparently it's a senior citizen home in Ohio.
Perfect
Right on.
companion is an
Wasn't
old
expecting
man.
that as part of the definition, but all right. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Look
I
out
like-
for
I-
the orderlies.
I like how it's specifically in Ohio.
Well, I'll
Like,
grow.
just-
I mean, I'll grow old with her. I ain't worried about that.
We've been talking about how this is a revenge movie and how Bond is brutal in it. A good series of events are Bond boarding, I think it's the boat Crest is using maybe,
Mhm.
but ultimately Bond discovers Sharky strung up with
Yeah.
other sharks. This is his
Yeah,
friend.
well,
So
'cause
another friend murdered,
yeah.
and then you just
When he's in the bedroom
watch-
with Lupe.
yeah,
Like,
and then
yeah.
you see Bond just be like, F it, and just kills the
He
first person
harpoons
he
the guy.
sees.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, harpooned him, dove down, and I even like that was even really cool because even when you see him, and I don't know if it was Dalton or a stuntman that did it, but like yeah, you see how he even takes the scuba gear. It's like all textbook, like how he slips it on, seamless and perfect. Like I was impressed by whoever did that, whether it was Dalton or a stuntman. I was like that was good, like that was smooth.
I have to guess that within reason, and I'd say this is probably true for the Living Daylights too, Dawn was heavily involved in some of these stunts, I'd say. They looked really good.
Yeah.
The only time I really noticed that there was somebody other than Dalton was towards the end of this movie when he was driving the boat. It was not Timothy Dalton driving the boat. Like it was clear to me that it wasn't. But other than that, I never really noticed it. Like I can't remember what movie it was. A couple movies. Oh, I think it was A View to a Kill. We talked about the car. Like it was like boom, close up of the stuntman's face, and it was
the
like
man
what?
that looks nothing like Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Like, what just happened here? Like, yeah. But no, but I even like that whole like from there because they go to like an underwater fight scene and all. He gets attacked by different ways because then he like harpoons the bottom of the seaplane, and that's when he ends up like water skiing basically on that behind it, which
is cool.
Well,
yeah, I was like,
wasn't it actually the guy who shot the harpoon at Bond but missed and hit the plane, and then Bond just kind of grabbed the
No, he shot the plane.
He shot it past Bond, but it didn't go anywhere. It didn't have anything attached to it.
Yeah.
It was
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, Bond, I think this was uncool, and I think this happened during the scene where Bond destroyed all of that sweet, sweet cocaine.
oh, and the camera, yeah, like
That was a very, very cool scene. And then, yes, I did like
just
the,
underwater.
I did like the skiing scene.
Yeah.
That was fun. Stuff like that reminded me of a Moore movie. Now, if it was Moore, and this isn't Roger Moore's call, of course, they would have put a silly sound effect or something.
They would have made dolphin sound effects as he swam through the water or some
Right,
shit.
you
Free
know.
Willy or
Yeah,
something.
but
They,
you know?
they didn't do it here.
It would have been the flipper
been
sound effect.
terrible.
Yeah, that's what it would have
Yeah.
been. That sound, like yeah.
And then out of nowhere, you would hear boing.
Just pop up out the water with the ski. Yeah, it would have been a different type of effect.
Yeah,
So
he would
this-
pop out of the water and it would have been a.
But I think
Tarzan.
I think this all lended it because, like I said, it wasn't. He wanted nothing but to cause chaos. So it's like, hey, now I've got your drug. I'm going to destroy all the drugs.
Yes, really screwing
yeah.
Crest over.
And he got what, $5 million?
Well, it had to
Yeah.
be more than that because, like I said, that was just what he left in the chamber. But he was gambling away more of it.
Well, he gambled $2 million, but like he put $5 million in the bank. When he went to the banker, he's like, I have $5 million, and I'll bring more next week or whatever. But then he came and
withdraw that stuff. So I think was that before the Crest incident? So did he withdraw that money?
No,
and
he
put it in
withdrew
there?
it so he could put it in the
he could put it in the pressure thing.
pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is just fantastic. Like,
But he also won money at the casino.
Yeah.
yeah.
He wasn't. He took $2 million to gamble with, but then at one point they said he's up $250,000. Do you want us to stop him? And he's like, no, let him keep going.
Yeah.
So he obviously won some money that night, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really, after watching these two movies, I really think that Dalton did a really good job, and I think Dalton should have gotten another movie.
Yeah.
Agreed.
After this one, I think that's fair because like I said, the first Dalton movie, it was like, how are you gonna do it? Let's get used to it and see what works, what doesn't, type thing. This one, like I said, it's almost like a side, story of James Bond almost. Like it's not really part of MI6 or anything like that. But like I said, I really have very little to complain about overall with what it is.
Well, so now I have a story. So, when Timothy Dalton signed on to play James Bond, he signed a 3-movie contract. Not a 2-movie contract, a 3-movie contract.
Going for a trilogy.
So, they wrote a 3rd movie called Her Lady's Property. Yeah, I don't know. That's what it's called.
Stupid.
Would have been an interesting.
That
theme.
title is suboptimal.
That's going to be an interesting theme song.
Her Lady's Property, and the script was done. Dalton and some other people were already on set, like doing preliminary work, and Broccoli got sued.
Ooh.
And
He stole that story from someone.
he had no. It was so Broccoli owned the rights to the James Bond franchise, but a recording studio, a film company owned the rights to put out the movies.
Oh, so like the production.
Distribution.
Yeah,
Yeah.
distribution rights. Thank you. And the company that owned the distribution rights sued Broccoli because they disagreed with something. They disagreed with something he was doing. Broccoli ended up winning because he was like, "I own the rights to the damn stuff. All you can do is distribute it after I make it."
Yeah.
Essentially. But anyway, it got tied up in litigation, and they weren't allowed to make a movie until litigation was over with. So during that time, Dalton's contract expired.
Oh, that'd be a shitty way to go out. I mean, hopefully he at least got like some type of percentage or paid still for the for a 3-movie contract.
So when the litigation was over, Broccoli went back to Dalton and said, "I want you to come back as Bond." And Dalton's like, "Great, give me a new contract. I'll sign it. Like, I want to be Bond again." And then Broccoli goes, "The caveat is, I want you to sign a 4-movie contract." And Dalton said no. And Broccoli said, "Then we'll find somebody else."
That
Fuck,
ladies' property thing was the name of the Fabergé egg and Octopussy.
Yeah.
It was the property of a lady.
Yep.
Is what it was called.
Property of a lady. That's the name. Yeah, I think I screwed it up. Property of a lady.
That's a
Yeah.
hell of a recollection.
Yeah,
there, man.
the green
No.
egg. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
the
that was the
Fabergé
green
egg
one.
and Octopussy was called the property of a lady.
That's cool. It's a good call.
Well, I think it's a shame, that it didn't work out because I really like what Timothy Dalton's doing here. He looks the part.
I like that he didn't want to go out like that though.
Yeah, if he develop a little bit more humor about him, just a little bit, I'd be totally bought in. I think he's awesome.
So do you think, I'm just saying this to the room, do you think going the way of the books was a good call for him? Or do you think it would...
Oh, yeah.
I think it works for him. I mean, what are his options? Trying to, reproduce Roger Moore or Sean Connery. You kind of got to, and I don't think you should try to be silly with it, or you got to kind of put your own thing on it.
I do think you do have to do that some, but I will say it didn't pay off for him at the time. Like he has two of the least, he has like 2 of the 3 least or lowest box offices in Bond history. Like he has the worst one and the third to last one. So I mean, like people were not happy with these movies.
Wonder what people were saying at the time. I might go back.
Yeah,
and
that's
look.
a good question.
I'm curious as to kind of what the stink on these was.
It actually, from what I've seen, is kind of what you were talking about. Not the lightheartedness.
Oh,
It was a step away
I-
from.
I can't watch it with a child.
He was a more too serious. Because I did look at some old reviews of it, and that's what they're
But
saying.
once again, I guess that would.
So more overdid it to the point where now people are expecting it, and it didn't happen at all. I mean, or it did, but just not in the way that.
Thanks a lot, Roger Moore.
Which is a shame because, like I said, they're based off of the book, and it was like getting more accurate to the book is what turned people's palate away from it.
But then here's the thing though, Daniel Craig is a lot more like Dalton, and people love that. Like, I mean, he goes back to the brutality and the ruthlessness and, like, killing people without much cause. Like, Daniel Craig does that in his movies. And people weren't pissed off about it. Maybe it was just the time.
That's true.
Yeah, he might have been a prettier Bond to
Well, and too, like I
People
said,
love
think of like even, like I said, yeah, like there probably wouldn't have been I don't think there would have been a better time to do it just because like the 80s was like peak, like, action films. Like there'd be no better time in history really to make an action style Bond, like pretty much what this is. It's just a matter of, like I said, think about it. Like look at the list of movies. Like the only time that we really seen blood was like when Lazenby, when the dude fell into the snowblower.
Yeah.
And we've seen that go out over the snow. But like you see people getting shot in like the first 6 or 7 movies, and there's no there's not even like a bullet wound. Like you're still grabbing the spot where you're hit and
It's
you
like
fall.
not even.
Like,
It's like a dry
yeah,
squib.
so it's one of those things to where like you can watch it. It is a PG film, so I get how out of nowhere now it's like, ooh, now I'm like, there's a Colombian drug lord and everything that's feeding like people to sharks just for torture, and like people are blowing up people's heads in pressurized chambers and stuff and burning alive with gasoline, and you're not turning away.
Mr.
Like,
Big got blown up.
yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
did.
like that was a good one. But
I
that
mean, presentation counts for a lot.
yeah, and I well also too, it happened so quick, and it was once again it was such an effect, like to where it's like, yeah, it looks comical. Like it wasn't like I said, like when you see the dude's head, you have to pan away from that part just because you know what's coming and all, where it could be super graphic. Like you could do
Right.
it that way.
Yes.
But once again, I guess like how much do you need to show to drive home your point, I guess, for the movie or for the book, I guess. And then are you what age are you going to show that to your kid? Especially if you've like watched these Bond films with him up till then, and you get some of the slapstick stuff from the other ones, like the Italian chases and the, like you said, the Tarzan reference that Ray talks about, like, and now all of a sudden you get Rampage. Like it is a palette. It is a different. You would be shocked, I think. Like if you
Yeah.
just like, especially even from the last one, like you didn't even get a lot of like death and brutality like that in the last one at all, to where now it's like in your face. You don't get to escape it. Like even up to the very end when, like, you know, Sanchez pretty much has him dead to rights, you know, at gunpoint, and Bond's like, well, don't you want to know what this was all for? And shows him the lighter from the wedding, and then like sets him on fire right there, and he burns alive. Like, I mean, yeah, you just see that it's more personal and it is darker.
So, you think that they just wouldn't, and this is just a legitimate question, wouldn't have considered even doing that up until now because it's just too much?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
you would have it would have been considered like gross or gosh, or it would,
Grotesque.
yeah, like it just wouldn't, like I said, it would turn people off from the movie. Like it's kind of like it would be like kind of like the same way you see people on like horror films in that aspect. Like, because then it would be like, oh, it's because you don't really just turn away. You see it all the way through generally those films. So in this one's like, if I got to watch all these people that Bond is killing graphically die, it's going to add up over 2.5 hours. Like, so that's 2.5 hours you got to watch. You basically did kind of watch like a quasi horror film. It was under the guise of like revenge.
Well, I think that's a good point because all of us sitting in this room, first off, we grew up watching people die horrifically on film. Like we're very desensitized to it. But
Yeah.
I mean, think of all the older movies you watch, even not just the Bond films, but even, I mean, Indiana Jones is out by this time, Star Wars is out at this time. None of them have graphic deaths.
No, the most graphic Jones one you have is when old boy looks at the Ark.
Yeah,
Like, and his face
yeah,
melts and all
yeah.
that. Like it's, but even that, the effect kind of resembles like the Gremlin when it comes out of like the stuff at
Yeah.
the end, where it's like it almost looks like the same wax melting and eyeball stuff falling out. Where it's
But
Maybe
what
we're on to something here,
What
guys.
about Temple of Doom? They had some crazy shit
like Kali Ma, and, like pulls, yeah. Once again, I think context matters and all. Like, but.
yeah.
Once again, even as a kid, yeah, to see that, it was an intense scene, but it was like something I wanted to see still. Like,
Yeah.
like it didn't turn me away to where like I wouldn't watch Indiana Jones because of that. If anything, I was like, all right, like there's something going on in the jungle. Like, gotta make a note of that as a kid. Like,
Anybody else have anything they want to go over? Any notes?
I want to go back to the intro, and I just want to say that for a PG movie and the little music intro they had, there was a parade of fucking naked titties for about a minute straight.
Yeah, like usually
Like a
usually
silhouette
the
of ladies.
silhouettes are there, but there were some clear.
Yeah,
you
they
could
were
see it clear in there.
for being a PG. There was titties galore about a minute and a half.
so once again, free the nipple. They were on it back then. Like,
It's true. I want to make sure that we mention Wayne Newton at least.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
Like,
bless your heart.
he's not really a televangelist. It's some kind of cult thing.
Yeah.
But again, this is very much of its time. You know, the televangelism stuff
It's
was
still
big.
around, but yeah, like it was like
Yeah.
with the mega churches and
Yeah, right.
the-
It was a real big thing, and there were also accompanying controversies and scandals at the time, like Jim Baker and Jimmy Swaggart. So, you know, like all James Bond movies, there's always something in there that's very specific to the goings on at a time.
Yeah.
But Wayne Newton was awesome as this character. Ultimately, it's legitimate part of the plot, you know, where he is used as a communication means between buyers of drugs and Sanchez. It's pretty interesting. I do want to point out that at one point when he's doing this shtick on TV, you hear in the background like one of the people taking calls saying, "We've got senior citizens calling in, giving us money," like it was a good thing. And I was just like, that's awesome. And I also wanted to mention there's a bar fight scene.
That was good. Yeah.
Yep, that's really good. And it's also very funny because there's a dancer who never stops dancing
I
at
know,
all
she
through the
did.
whole
She
thing.
She moves to the
Through
side.
almost
but
the entire
she's
scene.
back, like
Yes.
She moves when somebody swings a pool cue at Bond, but it takes her. It's almost towards the end of the fight.
Right.
Yeah.
She gets back on stage. Like
It was just a good piece of fun. You know that somewhere along the way somebody said, dance through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
just pretend it's not happening
Yeah.
around you.
And I
Like,
thought that was a lot of fun.
And going back to the bar part, the waitress moved around the dudes and said like she had nowhere to go. That was the only where to go was around the front of that dude. Like she couldn't go back.
No.
She couldn't go to the side.
Yeah, after
She had to
Bond
go
knocked
right
her out.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody like the bless your heart part when he took the suitcase or whatever, because that I was like, oh, I know what that really means. In Southern language, just like go fuck yourself, like just like
Bless your heart. Yeah.
yeah, that's
It
like
is.
oh bless your heart, like this,
Because he said it when she took the money. Bless
yeah,
your heart.
like,
Yep.
it's like I know what you just said, like, which is funny because yeah, it's like the most polite ass chewing you'll ever get type deal from those people, like. But no, that's all I got. Like like I said, I enjoyed the movie for what it was. Like, not really a spy film, but a good story of rampage and revenge. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
If nothing else, it's something different. It's something we've not really seen Bond do. So I mean, I feel like even if nothing else, it was worth a try.
It was James Bond falling down.
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, like.
And
But
like
once again, like, it was good enough that like I said, I wouldn't have minded a third movie out of Dalton to see what he would have done with it after this.
After
Yeah,
seeing
on,
these,
on actual mission. You know, now.
Yeah, like would it have come back? Like, would you have taken this kind of attitude and like mixed it with your first movie, and then like would it have been more serious and brutal and like just more like cerebral on mission and all, or like
How do you think they would have got him back? How do you think they would have gone about that? Do you think he would have gone back? Do you think something bad would have happened? They would have begged him to come back?
I
How do you think they'd have done it?
There'd have to be some type of olive, like something would have had to have happened to another agent, I think, to get Bond's interest to want to come back. I think you would have had to like because that's essentially what took him from it is like his relationship with somebody else who got hurt and now he's after revenge. So it's like I think the only way to get him back would be the exact same thing is like somebody else is in trouble and now you have to come back and work with us in some degree for this mission.
They don't pick up there with the next one, do they?
No. With
no,
I don't think
Goldeneye
so.
is its own thing.
Yeah.
I like it largely that the Bond movies don't try to do some chronological thing.
Until
They may
Craig.
pull a little bit here and
Yeah.
there. I like it that each movie is its own kind of standing thing.
Yeah, you can watch them out of order and not really miss a whole lot, but they do kind of follow a story.
Yeah,
Like,
some-
you know, they reference old things. They, you know, talk about things that happened in other movies. But yeah, it's not like you could, if you watch this movie, you wouldn't be lost because you missed the first so many.
Yeah.
It would be little Easter egg callbacks, like you said, like the name of the egg for the movie title, or like you said, the world is not enough is his James Bond's like family crest motto. Like there's little things about the character and about everything that I can see like as you go further along, it gets more intricate in what you know and subtlety.
Like, they have a conversation about Bond used to be married, blah, blah, blah. They don't ever say her name, but we all knew it was Tracy.
Yeah.
Remember that I believe that she died before they even went on their honeymoon.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up us talking about the movie, and we'll move us into rankings. So, gentlemen, I am again going with a number 2 on our body count. Does anybody have anything to disagree with me about?
It's only 2. I wish
Yeah, I
they
think
would
that's
have gone
right.
there.
So Dalton doesn't have a movie with 3 in it, man. That's kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
That's 45 and 17 movies. Still a pretty decent total. But falling behind the pace.
2 movies, 2 girls. Like, that's
All right, now let's move into Bond Girl. And I'm going to do what I did last week. And Ray, where do you rank your Bond Girl?
I want you to justify Ray.
Let's see.
I love when people act like they didn't know this was coming.
No, I knew it was coming.
When you get hit with all the
but now
oh
it's-
yeahs,
yeah.
you know, when you look
It's
at the
about it's
screen.
about
But-
when you have.
But
like,
after
you
we
know,
have the conversation,
Yeah.
when
you
you have
got
16
to
pairs
kind of
of, like, a
rethink maybe a
cleavage
little
staring at
bit.
you in the face, and it's like, all right, now who compares where? Like,
You know what? I think I'm going to do like I did last week. I'll put her at 10.
oh yeah,
That low? You've been talking to this girl up like she was your 1.
hey, you know what?
I might talk it up like that, but I wasn't going to be serious about it.
Wow.
I think it shows Ray's grounded, but I know what you mean.
Look,
like,
she was useful. She was always there to help him out. She's very attractive, even though you guys don't like her haircut. And I mean,
here's
she
a
helped
throwback.
drive the plot, parts of the movie, and she was always there to, packing a weapon or something else. She was always there.
She was useful. Like,
Yeah.
All right, well,
could have used with less of the attitude.
you said you're going 10.
Yeah, I'm at 10.
I'm going to go 9, actually.
What?
I'm going higher than you. I wasn't expecting
You
that.
think she beats that old girl? Like,
Yeah, I do.
even with her in the like.
Like I said, the one part when she was actually in the bikini, she looked pretty
She
good.
was-
Like she looked like she had potential.
Yeah, and she bent over and
Ray's so excited right now. He's like, wait a minute. Like,
There was potential there. Just needs to grow some more hair, a little bit. At least,
So do
at
the
least
three-
a little long enough so that she's not looking like a little boy.
Do the 3 of you have a ranking?
I do. I expected her to be much lower than this, but given how huge she is to the actual story being
God
told,
damn it.
I'm putting her at flipping number 7.
Yeah.
Ahead of Goodhead?
Oh, good night.
Good night. Sorry. Yeah, good night.
Yes,
Sorry.
right ahead of Good Night. I mean, this gal is a huge part of this movie, and she's not shit. And Tom keeps talking about her attitude. I thought she was. I found her likable.
Yeah.
That's not why we're rating it.
She's not an ugly woman either.
You did. I didn't find her all that likable.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think that she was that charming at all. Like, I would have rather him pal around with Moneypenny through the whole movie. Like,
I don't know about that.
Can we get a rating, guys?
well, yeah, I was gonna go like 13.
Yeah, and I was at 12.
Yes, I think she's hotter than the last chick. The chick from the last movie. She's got to be hotter than her.
Yeah.
Yes.
She does. Yeah.
I mean, what does Kara have that Pam does not?
That's
Cara
a good
had
point because these guys did rank.
Hair.
Yes, you're right.
I mean, I'll at least come
Hair.
up. I'll come up.
That's about it. Hair.
yeah, hair.
I'll come
But
up.
but Pam doesn't look as plain as Kara does. Kara's the plain girl next door. Pam's like maybe you can get in some trouble with her. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. And that's the adventure I want to go on.
Pam's like the college skank at the
And
bar on
Bond
Friday.
did. I think he paid her $75,000.
If you could get over the
and then
fact
he
that
got
she looks
into
like
trouble
Justin
with her.
Bieber.
Well worth it.
Yes.
So are you saying you'll come up ahead of Kara, Tom? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
I can come up around there. Yeah, I'm
mean,
definitely
putting her
not.
at 11 or 12?
You're definitely not getting 9 out of me.
I think you
Like,
guys need to come up quite a bit more than that.
What? I'm not gonna lower my bar that low. What? Just because you went 7 and Alex went 9, like
You think she looks better than your beloved Tiffany Case? I don't.
Barry
I
gasped.
think Tiffany Case
Like,
looks way better than her.
Barry audibly
I take other
gasped.
things into account, though, and I know you guys
But
don't.
I am too, and I thought her personality was shit.
Yeah, how come Tom's taking in all this shit into account and nobody's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Because I think it was a trash attitude, like, and I don't think she really is that central to the plot.
So where were you at?
Bond was
Well,
doing his own.
I got it
thing.
right.
Does she really have a
In
worse
between Pussy
attitude
and
than
Cara.
Tiffany
Okay.
Case?
So Justin's
Well,
at 12.
Tiffany's just annoying. Her that's the entirely different type.
Tiffany
of
became
attitude.
annoying toward the end of the movie.
Like the whole second half of the movie.
Right.
Yeah, she's more annoying in an arrogant way.
But we
Tiffany
only
wasn't
care if
arrogant.
she's hot.
Well, I mean,
you
that's
guys'
what we're
position, right?
ranking. Yes.
And if
That's what
I'm
this
going
is
with that, then I'll
supposed to
then I'll drop down to my original number.
So what
But
number are you at, Tom?
Well, if I'm like trying to talk myself up here, like I'll come up to like 11 or 12.
Okay, so we're at 12 and 11, 12-ish,
9.
9. And where are you, 10?
10.
And I stand at 7. So where do we want to put her at? 9?
I think 10. Yeah.
No,
9, 10.
I'll go to a 10. She definitely doesn't crack the top 9 for me.
I think we got it at 10.
Well, I mean, lots of things don't crack the top 9 for me, but they're fucking up there.
She's just not. Like, she's not more feminine and appealing. And I even number 9 had a way, but as airheaded as she was and useless throughout the whole show, I would have much rather had her as a companion through my adventure.
She looked mighty good on that train car.
Dude, you're talking about the perfect companion.
Yeah. Who the fuck says a companion on my adventure?
Yeah, like, that's a 1940s cartoon character.
Well,
Like,
given where we all seem to be landing generally, wherever it's decided, and maybe we let Ray decide. Since,
Ray decided 10.
Yeah.
Like, I'm giving Ray what he wanted.
Right. Well, but Ray, you got to factor in, other opinions.
Well, really,
If
what
it's
you
10,
need to
it's
think
10.
about, Ray,
I'm
is
okay
what
with
are her eyebrows like?
They're very distinctive.
And what about her?
They're not invisible.
What about the ass and titty aspect?
They're
Yeah, because
there.
you threw a big fit about that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
said
she got a
number 2
nicer
doesn't
ass,
have
and
any.
she got more titty than Miss Domino number dose.
no,
Dude, you're on drugs.
no, she doesn't.
Sometimes I am. It's called marijuana.
You can see from here. No,
I was like, you're the closest to the screen. Like,
If this actress would have been dressed the way other
Well, look at
actresses are dressed,
That's not a very good picture. We need to get
No,
the,
like,
we
I'll-
need to
I'll-
we
I'll
need to get the
even-
cleavage shot from the boat.
I'll even give it to you. No, that's not the
she's
best
just like a
headshot
boy.
for
There
her.
weren't really many cleavage shots. There was just those 2. And when she had the bikini and then the one with the really loose shirt.
Yeah, I mean that's
They-
all the proof we need, and that's not the
I mean, we
picture I
can't
have.
put her at 9, guys. Come on.
No.
Surely we can put her at 9.
We cannot. We have multiple 10s here.
7, 9, 10.
10.
I said 12, but
And you
I'm
said
willing to
12.
go to 10. I'm willing to go to 10.
All right, I'll live with it.
Yes.
See, even Ray's happy with it.
I don't understand. Ray's been talking about how she's going to be like Solitaire, and all of a sudden he's like happy that she's at 10.
Because Ray is grounded in his decision making.
I am, and I can compromise to the moon, and I think I got.
I don't think you
needed.
compromised. I think
Yeah, I
you,
did.
you got what you wanted. You said 10, and then we ended at 10.
Yeah, that's a good compromise for me.
Ray won the Dalton series.
Yeah.
Like, or at least the Dalton Bond girl series. Like,
I got it.
I think
exactly
Ray's
what
probably
I
the
wanted.
only one who got what he wanted as his ranking. Like,
Yeah.
All right. Well, while Ray messes with that, I think we can move into the movie itself.
this
Where?
will be interesting. You want to see where we put this one, though.
All right. Well, Barry, where do you put the movie on our list?
I'm going to put it at 11.
Ooh,
Oh,
I didn't expect you to go
Yikes.
that low with it.
Whoa.
Why so low, Barry?
I like it. It's not, and you guys said it a lot of times, but this doesn't take any away from the movie. It's not, in many ways, a James Bond spy story, which is fine, but I'm taking that into account.
Okay.
And I did like the movie. I simply don't like it more than the other stuff that's up there. But it's fine. I liked it.
All right. Justin, what are your thoughts?
I actually was gonna put it at 9 because I liked it more than Living Daylight. I liked them both, but I like License to Kill more than I like Living Daylight. So it just makes sense because I did to put it before Living Daylight.
Yeah. Ray?
Putting it at 5.
5, eh?
5.
Okay. Tom, are you ready yet?
I was gonna go around 7.
I was gonna go with 8. I agree with Justin. I thought it was the better of the two Dalton movies.
Yeah. Well, I like the pace of it. Like it's because the last one, I feel like if the pace was more upbeat or if there was like less lulls in like the travel or cutscenes, it would have rivaled this one a little bit better. But this one, I feel like there was so much like action and fighting throughout the whole thing constantly that it was like you're just going from one fight to another and it's constantly setting up for the next one. And I enjoyed it, but it definitely was a different pace, two definitely different films in terms of pace.
All right, so we have an 11, a 9, an 8, a 7, and a 5. Okay, not all over the place, but we are spread out slightly. So I guess the 11 and the 5 are, are outliers there. So Ray, why 5?
It was a change of pace from more. It was an evolution of the character. It was something we haven't seen before. The fight scenes are great. The action sequences are good. The plot with the revenge thing was awesome, and it was just something different for me from the 5 like gimmicky more movies that were like cartoony. This was actually grounded. It made sense. It showed a different side of Bond, and it was just something new. And I really enjoyed it. I'm not. I talk a lot of shit about Moore, but I mean he's got a few quality films, and I got to give him the breaker to the times because some of that was just his movies were because of the times. Same thing with this one. I mean, there was a lot of action. There was some things we probably could have cut out, but all in all, I think it raised the bar a little bit for the character to see a different side to what if something went down like that. How the fuck was Bond going to respond?
Well, I think a lot of what you said is true. I mean, it did show us a different side of Bond. It did. He wasn't. It was something we knew that we'd never seen before. I don't. I mean, I think that's pretty much factual. Yeah. But Barry pretty much said the same thing for it. Like it was not what we see from Bond, and that's why he put it lower. So you guys are pretty much like saying the exact same thing, and as your arguments.
Yeah, but different perspectives on it. Like
Yeah.
that's that's what it is. Same argument, different take, which I like.
Yeah.
Because
And both of us really liked it.
Yeah.
But it was one of those where like I guess I'd probably lean.
You said 7, right, Tom?
Yeah.
So what puts it above the You Only Live Twice?
Honestly, the pace and the brutality of it.
Yeah.
Like I will say, I don't think it was enough to boost it up past some of the other Bond films, but because I'll kind of disagree, and I think we have seen this from Bond before. Like when his wife died in the beginning of the next movie, we get the first person view of him hunting Blofeld. Like we just don't get the totality of it in a full movie like this.
Yeah.
It's more like it leads like his rampage there leads up to him like coming upon Blofeld and him thinking he killed him again and again and again.
That's true.
So like but I think it beats out in that aspect to where now we're diving deeper into that what really was happening with the emotion of it. And then even just following the character development as a whole. Because, like you said, there's even times when like he wants to hit on old girl in the field and stuff, but you can tell he's too preoccupied with revenge and all that to where he's like, no, shakes it off and is like back to whatever it is he was doing. He's not his like suave Bond all the time. Like he's actually out for blood in this, and I like how you even say that it's supposed to mirror the book a little bit more, because the more we go through this, I want to read the books more. So I think gives like a sneak peek or like a little glimpse of what you may encounter in the writing.
Yeah. I don't know. So I go back and forth on whether reading the books before this would have been good.
I don't think it. I don't think it would have. I like the idea of doing it after the fact and then just enjoying the callbacks, reminiscing.
Yeah.
Because I think if you go books then movies, then you just pick apart the movie and you're just kind of that turd. We're like, oh well, the book was better. But like, well, no shit, the book was better. I can write dialogue that's detailed forever, but I can't. I can only show you a scene, and I can't tell you what to interpret in the damn thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
so it's like I would definitely go movie before book.
Justin, you've been quiet. What do you think?
I'm just where I am. I mean, if I like it
Same,
better
bro.
than Living Daylights, I'm willing to go up to like 7 or 8. Um, but yeah, I mean, I like it. Like I said, before it was this is a focus directed Bond. I really like the take on him. It, I mean, just throughout both of the films that he's done, it surprised me. Um, I find myself liking him more than I did
I
when
agree.
I first saw Timothy Dalton as James Bond.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm willing to move up. So I can move up to 7 or 8.
Well,
I'm cool with either one of those.
I mean, I'm not saying that we have to do it, but I will point it out that the exact middle of our ranking is 8. It would require you to move down 3, you to move up 3, and you two to move 1 apiece.
Yeah.
But
I like the movie. I'm not going to gripe, if we place it anywhere in that range.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'll say I think my case can be applied anywhere in there, and what I'm like I said, either 7 or 8. Like, so I could drop down if need be.
Ray,
Yeah, I mean, I'll compromise. If we got to move to 7 or 8, I can deal with that.
so do we agree on 8 then? Can we get there,
I'm cool.
everybody?
Yeah, I really don't have an argument against it so
All
much.
right. Mission accomplished.
All right. Well, that slots our License to Kill at number 8, behind You Only Live Twice, and ahead of The Spy Who Loved Me. I will say, before we started this, I would not have expected the Dalton movies to be this high. I realize we're not done. Movies could go ahead of them.
Well, I think that's where it's gonna be. Like I said, they're not bad films. They're middle of the pack at best. Like, I really think we would have gotten the best version of Dalton out of the next one had he made it.
Yeah.
Like, just because, like I said, I think you can kind of see that evolution of the character just in these 2 movies alone.
Well, let me ask you this, Tom. How would you feel if Brosnan got replaced by Dalton in Goldeneye? How much better a movie would that have been?
That'd be an interesting one. Because I liked Goldeneye.
Yeah, Goldeneye's a quality movie.
And like, that was one to where I'll be honest, I'm kind of attached to Brosnan on that one. So that
Maybe we revisit that question next week,
Good deal.
because that would be Goldeneye. So,
yeah, because like you said, then we can almost discuss would it have been worth for Dalton to come back? Would it have been the same films? Like, would you have been Goldeneye,
Yeah.
and it would have been like the next 4 Brosnans and all that? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
and that'd be a whole different character. But I think he would. I kind of think, especially knowing now that he was asked even before to play Bond, that it almost seems like Dalton had the fear of what happened to Moore and Connery, is that he didn't want to be the old Bond.
yeah.
Like, I think that's what you kind of see starting with him and all that, to where he doesn't want that to be his like landmark.
Yeah, I mean, Connery and Moore have both taken criticism for being too old in some of their movies.
Yeah, and
So
let's
I
be
could
honest,
see it being a fear for the other ones.
yeah, and let's be honest, you know that you're gonna hear that. You know you already heard that.
Yeah.
That, oh, they're getting too old to play the part, and then more comes along, and then you're gonna hear that echo again, and now you're gonna be like the fourth one technically and all that, but you're gonna have your own franchise there, so it's like three. So then, yeah, I can see him having a fear of going out like that. Like I would if I was a Bond
Yeah.
actor at that point, to where like I would want to know when to bow out gracefully.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate you tuning in for this License to Kill episode. And like we just mentioned, we would appreciate you tuning in next week for our GoldenEye
Getting into
episode.
browsing now.
Yes, we will be changing Bonds again for our 5th time. And to Pierce Brosnan. So I'm sure there'll be lots of talk about the new actor next week. But thanks for tuning in to Blockbuster Bums.